A century ago, the nation was 2 years into the First World War, but not everyone followed the call to fight.
This week I'll be hearing from those compelled by their faith to risk reputation and face ridicule as conscientious objectors.
Also daring to be different, the college chaplain spreading the word with Christian tattoos.
A good byproduct of being tattooed is that it creates a conversation.
And I'm turning detective, discovering words from the King James Bible found in famous reggae songs.
I'm in the city of York, not at the Minster, but at the former Rowntree chocolate factory, which for generations had faith right at its heart because of the Quaker beliefs of its founder. And right at the heart of the Christian faith is Christ himself, and that's the focus of our first song today.
To God be the glory, great things he has done. So loved he the world that he gave us his Son, who yielded his life an atonement for sin, and opened the life gate that all may go in. Praise the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Praise the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son, and give him the glory, great things he has done. Oh, perfect redemption, the purchase of blood, to every believer the promise of God, the vilest offender who truly believes, that moment from Jesus the pardon receives. Praise the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Praise the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son, and give him the glory, great things he has done. Great things he has taught us, great things he has done, and great our rejoicing through Jesus the Son. But purer and higher and greater will be our wonder, our rapture, when Jesus we see. Praise the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Praise the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son, and give him the glory, great things he has done. And give him the glory, great things he has done.
In 2 world wars, Quakers faced an ethical dilemma, whether to follow the call to fight, knowing that that might mean that they would kill for their country, or to make the controversial decision to be conscientious objectors.
That decision was passionately supported here at the Rowntree factory in York, famous for its chocolate but driven by Quaker beliefs. Local MP Arnold Rowntree fought for changes to the Military Service Act, giving Quakers the chance to serve their country without fighting. Significant parts of the factory were given over to help the war effort.
In fact, this building that used to be the Rowntree staff canteen was turned into a hospital to treat the wounded.
Chris Lawson's grandfather worked for Arnold Rowntree, and Chris is also a Quaker and a pacifist.
A good many Quakers would take the attitude that if they were going to be followers of Christ, you cannot resort to the use of force, and particularly fighting wars. And that is a witness that Quakers have held from the middle of the 17th century.
But that would have led to accusations of cowardice and much more, I imagine.
Yes, there was immense social disapproval, but at the beginning of the war, Arnold Rowntree was one of those who helped to set up a service unit for young Quakers called the Friends Ambulance Unit. And in time, my father, my uncle, and I myself all became members of the FAU. It early on sent out a team to France, and they found the first need was to help with soldiers being evacuated from the front who were just lying in sheds, and there were FAU people who were helping on ambulance trains. My father was one of those.
You are still a Quaker.
Yes.
If war was declared tomorrow and you were called up, what would be your reaction?
I should want to be a conscientious objector again. Christ's form of service was a non-violent approach to other people.
The University of York is home to some rare Rowntree archive, and Chris has come to see it for the very first time. Hello, Alex.
Hello.
What have we got here?
Well, here we have some wonderful records relating to the work of Arnold Rowntree.
Ah, this is so interesting to see Arnold Rowntree's name there and the names of various other Quakers, some of whom I've actually met.
So here we can see the Friends Service Committee in 1915. They say, "We see the sacrifices men around us have made and are daily making, and we are conscious that many of us, for whom loyalty to Christ forbids military service, are giving far less to our country than those who have enlisted." So they do want to serve, but they don't want to bear arms. And some of them feel that they really can do good and they're willing to die for their country, they're just not willing to kill others.
That's very much the central feeling of the Quakers. Loyalty to Christ forbids military service. It's a religious conviction. It's not a political one or a pragmatic one. It's based on a deep spiritual conviction.